Think about the tough times you've been through in the past. And at that moment, you didn't think you was going to make it, and you made it.
Yeah,
All
see,
right, now, you know what?
hey, hey,
Oh, we don't need my answer. Okay,
No,
Lissette,
no,
move
I
on.
want your answer. Go on, say your answer, please.
See, you know what?
I'm trying
Hey,
to cut you out. I ain't
hey,
trying to cut you out.
oh Lord.
So you know what we did to him? We took him to doggy daycare. Yes,
she
we
told it.
yes we took him to doggy daycare. So maybe they can teach him some manners that maybe we can't teach him. And just remember that you know what you are directing your life within yourself. So whatever you want your life to be, whatever you do today is going to decide your future for tomorrow. So make sure you direct it carefully. All right.
Come on, come on, rise. Let's go higher, higher, higher.
When you enjoy something that you really enjoy, that you enjoy what you really enjoy, but you enjoy what you really do.
What did you just say? That
I
messed
don't
me
know.
up.
Messed me up too.
I was
Um,
waiting for the hair to go all over the place when you said that, but I think you got through it.
but
No, she did it anyway.
how do how y'all's doing this morning? How are you? I'm so sorry. It's in my heart. It's in my heart this morning. I'm telling you, we are. Hey, this is the maybe it's the first show in this year. Maybe we hope last time we had a hard way to go. Sorry about that, fans. We had Yes, we do. We got Dr. Tammy Mccotter this morning. I'm so excited about that. So excited about let me get it right. Dr. Tammy Mccotter. We're having some problems with our internet, due to the weather, as we're going in and out and in and out. That's all right. Just hang with us this morning because we got a very motivational, encouraging show this morning. The one and only, we got Dr. Tammy Mccotter. She is an author. She has 3 books. And so we're going to let her talk about her books, but we're here to just motivate some people today to have a conversation. I don't know about you guys. How was your snow day? Hey, I had an interesting snow day. I'm saying like, wow. I mean, I'm looking for the snow. I live in the Carolinas, and I didn't see any snow in my part of the woods. But I heard there was some snow a little bit west of me, in the Carolinas. But I'm telling you, God is so good today. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this new year that we're in, and I'm excited to be all that I can be in this year. And so that's what I'm excited about. I know I was just to have a little joke on the side. I remember I went to McDonald's the other day. Did I have to say the name? Oh boy, I didn't say the name. But anyway, I love McDonald's. But I went there and I asked for some French fries. And when I got the bag of fries, I could count how many fries was in there. I'm saying like, I mean, I know this. I know. I mean, I know y'all trying to preserve and y'all trying to, I know things have gone up, but this is ridiculous. I mean, I said, excuse me, can I have some more fries, please? You've gone up in your price or the price is the same, whatever. You need to put the same amount of fries in there that you normally put in there. I don't know about you guys if you feel the same way. You may not feel the same way, but it's all good. But you know what? It's just good to be here. A lot of things is going on, even in the
Wait a
news.
minute, you just threw a curveball. I thought you were finna go into what happened, and then you just curved it into somewhere else. Did it fall apart like it normally does when you go to a restaurant, or did everything
Yeah, it
work
did.
out
It
smoothly?
really did because you know this has happened several times when I would ask for stuff, that I normally ask for, items and stuff, and they give me a small amount. They don't give me what they normally would give me. Like they're trying to, preserve, or it's all about the economy. They're trying to,
Are you low key a Karen?
am I
Lissette?
what?
Are
Oh
you low
no,
key
oh
a
by no
Karen?
means.
I'm starting
No,
to, I might have to follow you around with a cell phone to
you
make
might have
sure.
to.
Because in 6 years, it can't be every restaurant. I'm
It's
starting to think.
it's not everywhere. I don't give them a hard time, but then sometimes I kind of wonder, like, what's going on with me, And then
No,
I said,
it's
I
not true.
asked my
It's just
husband, he'd be with me a lot of times, I said, did
this is what you get sometimes.
sometimes,
When
yes.
you're having to eat out, especially at fast food places. But what I'm going to do, because this storm is definitely tearing up the internet over here,
I
so
know
I'm
what you're
going to
saying.
bring Dr. Tammy on early with you,
Okay.
because if I go out, I won't be able to bring her on, and then you'll just be sitting here talking to yourself.
Hey,
Okay, so let's welcome back one of our first guests, the amazing Dr. Tammy.
Hi, everyone.
hey, Dr. Tammy.
How are
Hi,
you?
fine. It is so good to see you.
It's
How you
amazing to be
been?
here. I feel amazing. We got a lot of snow this weekend, so I'm actually home today because the roads are not, they haven't finished plowing the roads, but all is well. I have no complaints.
Well, look, the background of in your background, you looks like you're having a great time back there with the on the beach and the palm trees and stuff. Hey, I would love to be there about right now. But I'm
Absolutely.
telling you, it's so good to have you this morning. And Tammy is a motivational speaker and a life coach, and you're also an author. So she's pretty amazing. So I know when I was thinking about the show, I was thinking about how people are really going through a lot of things. The whole world really in politics. There's a lot of things going on there. With the tariffs and all kind of things that's going on, and with the shootings, it's been really terrible, and just life in general. Making ends meet and facing different type of issues that we go through in a day-to-day time. And I just want to encourage the people and let them know that we're going to be we're going to live on purpose, not necessarily on purpose, so to say, but on purpose. We're going to go forth and do what we need to do on purpose, because if we get into all the little issues around us, we have a tendency to get off focused. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go on into the show.
Well, I love that introduction you was just talking about because believe it or not, that is where we find peace in living on purpose. So my name is Dr. Tammy Mccotter. I am a firm believer that we must live life on purpose, and that looks different for every person. I am an author. I thank God that that I've been able to write, and it's been receptive, and impactful. I am I'm a Gigi, a grandma, a mother. I am someone that loves to work in the community. But most of all, I'm a person that loves to see people reach their full potential. And that means being blessed. And blessed just simply means being happy.
This is so good. I remember that, when, but from the last show, and we was talking about purpose, and this show, has there ever been a time, because I know there may be some people out there that maybe don't understand what that means to live on purpose. So can you take us back just a little bit, a time in your life when you weren't living on purpose?
Oh my goodness, which story do you want? you know,
Oh,
it is so interesting because I'm a person that loves to write. I learned a long time ago that when you write, I call it writing letters to God, that you don't have to hear people repeat it, talk about it, or put it down, and you get it up and out. And I said all of that to say this. I remember a time, and this is gonna jog your memory. I
Okay.
remember a time when I first started at the ministry in Kinston, North Carolina.
Oh
First
yeah.
met Miss Lessette, and it was called World for Christ Ministries. And
Mhm.
I lived in a little bitty town called Ayden, North Carolina. And it was my two children and I. And I was extremely confused. I didn't know who I was. I didn't think that I could achieve, be, have, do, whatever behind dot, dot, dot. I was semi depressed. I was in a state of just hopelessness. I really was, but the one thing that gave me solace is that I heard from a young lady named Elaine that I used to work with that invited me to the church that I could come to a place and be myself, that they were not looking for me to be a perfect person, but they were looking for me to be myself. And if I could find how to be myself, then I would be able to establish and build upon all of that other stuff. And when I got there, that is what I found. I would get up, didn't hold a tune, didn't even know the all of the words to a song. And I would get up and sing it because it was on my heart and it was received. I would drive from where I lived at, excuse me, on faith, no gas whatsoever. And I believed that when I got there, that God would do something to make sure that my kids and I were not on the side of the road. And
Wow.
I remember in particular one time that this young lady right here gave me a hug. I drove
Wow.
Greenville, North Carolina, over 30 some miles, people, and the needle was below E.
Mm,
We
mm, mm,
rode on
mm.
air to get there. And I was always the type of person that I'm going to get there early. So I was sitting there when everybody else pulled up. And I was always, hopefully, the last one to leave because I didn't want to leave nothing on the table. And
Yes.
she walked up to me and she hugged me. And we used to call it a Pentecostal handshake. I didn't have no gas. And if truth be told, all we had was some bologna and bread in the refrigerator.
Mm, mm,
But
mm,
I
mm.
was grateful for that. And when she impressed upon my hand, I didn't look at it right then. I waited until I got in the car, and it was a crisp, brand new $100 bill.
Wow.
So when
Wow.
I talk about low moments, I done been homeless, me and my boys, more than
Mm,
once.
mm, mm, mm.
I know what it is to be hungry. I know what it is to not know where I'm going to lay my head. I know what it is to work a job and work all week long, making $3 an hour and not even bring $80 home.
Wow.
So when we have these conversations about purpose and when we have these conversations about encouragement, we're not talking to you, Lissette, nor I, or whoever she brings on the stage. We're not talking to you from a place that we've never walked.
Wow.
Purpose for me to this day, purpose for me is knowing that it is not something I can obtain outside of being focused on what the word says about me. That doesn't mean I'm
Yes.
a perfect person. That just means that the word is immutable and it doesn't lie.
Mhm.
And when I choose to believe in it, then the plan can fall into focus. And then I can get to a point that I can start walking towards what that purpose is until I can get established in it. That's
This
what
is good.
me.
This is good, Tammy. You brought back memories. I remember when I was a little girl. I can hear Keone right now. I know he's gonna say something. But I remember when we had an outhouse, so we didn't have a bathroom, or you can go in, with the toilet and the shower. We had like a little wash pan, and we had a little pan that we could go to the bathroom in, and a packed shed back yonder. So I understand. I've come a long ways, and God has brought my family. And I would say it's God that has given me the strength and my family the strength to go on. And even times in my life, doing domestic violence and um, all type of things I was going through, uh, divorce. I lost my purpose. You know, I lost it. So I can understand. And I remember those times when we was at the church. And so, but I always knew you was gonna make it. I always knew
Thank you, because I didn't.
because you had the strength. Excuse me. There was a strength about you, and I just knew that you was determined to make it. And so this is very, very interesting. There's so many people, excuse me, so many people don't know if they're going to make it today, and they're discouraged. I heard someone say on the internet, someone pray for me because I'm losing my confidence in Christ. I said, oh my God, they're losing their confidence in Christ. Something has hit them so hard that they don't, they're off focused from that. And so how did you get focused on on your purpose and your quest for uh uh um uh for journey now? How did you get focused?
I just kept showing up.
Wow.
The I think the most powerful thing, because when you're going through, the only thing that you can see is that you're going through. But I learned something, and I can't even take credit for it. I learned it through my children.
Mm.
And when you say strength,
Mhm.
this is a real confession. I would take my kids to school and they would see the pillar of strength, and I would go back home and close the blinds and sit in darkness
Mm,
because I was
mm.
depressed. But when it was time to go get my kids, mama was there and you never knew anything. So I credit a lot of it to the fact that I was so stubborn and so determined, because in my head, I used to say, God, even if I would lay down tomorrow and never wake again, the only thing I wanted God to do, and this is a true confession, is to allow me to live long enough to
Mm.
raise my kids, because
Wow.
I never felt nobody would love my kids the way that I could. And that was my motivation.
That's powerful there.
Had to raise them. I had to show them endurance. I had to show them strength. I had to show them tenacity. I had to show them that they could get up even if they fell on their face with mud on it. But outside of them, when they
Yes,
weren't around me, then I would have my moments. In front of people, you would always see this.
for sure.
Behind the door, I was broke. I went 7 years and never looked into a mirror because I
Mm.
thought I was just that ugly.
Woo.
So, how did I stay focused? I just kept showing up.
You know what? This is so good because, you know, as a mother, mothers normally, they don't want to show weakness around their children, especially when you are a one parenter. You are the mother and the father, or someone out there may be the father and the mother. But so you want to show that strength. Because I remember, even when my son, had went somewhere with a friend, and I know that particular friend, his family was into some illegal issues in the past, and when he went with them, uh, because they were picking him up, and they was going to bring him home from practice. Um, And he didn't call and let me know that he was with them. I just totally flipped. And when he got home, he got it. And because I panicked, because I said, I cannot, allow you to think that you can run over me. Yes, I'm a woman, and your father's not here, but you're not going to run over me. And I flipped, and I had to discipline him. And so I definitely understand how you did not want to show weakness around your children. I can understand that. Yes, I can.
Yeah. For me, it was such a thing that, and I would tell my boys this, I would tell them, I'm your worstest critic, but I'm your greatest fan.
There you go.
You can always come to me about anything, even if I get upset about it. Come to me because I'm always going to tell you the truth. But one day, I'll never forget, it
Mhm.
was when I moved to Maryland. And I didn't know, because children watch everything.
Yes, they do.
And I didn't know that they watched and they really knew that their mother was going through. But what gave them solace is that I didn't stop. And I remember when I first moved up here, my oldest son, Matthew, but we call him Joe, he came to the house one morning. He said, "Ma," he said, "you need anything?" I said, "No, baby, I'm good." I said, I'm good. And tears just streamed down his face. And I stood there and I looked at him and I said, "Why are you crying?" He said, "Mama, why don't you trust me and Shelton enough that when you going through something that you can tell us?"
Mm, 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 mm.
And I looked and I didn't say anything. I just smiled. He said, "Mama, it's okay. We got you."
Oh, wow.
But you get in a place that all you know is survival
Hmm.
and showing up, that it becomes hard
Yes.
to let people see. And for me in my life, that's when it all broke for me.
Hmm.
To know that my kids knew, that we weren't playing a game when the lights were out. The
That's right.
lights were out.
Yes, they were out.
Mama won't put two blankets on top of you and laying on top of you,
Hmm.
because she wanted y'all to stay close to her. No, she was
Right.
doing that to keep you warm.
You warm.
And they knew it. So anybody that's out there listening, just keep showing up. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be easy. I ain't even going to try to lie and pump you full of whatever to tell
Mhm.
you that it's easy showing up when you broke on the inside and you don't know where your next is and you don't know how you're going to make it and you feel
Mhm.
alone and you don't know who you can talk to. But if you got a pen and a piece of paper, write it down and keep showing up. Because I guarantee you, if you keep showing up, those are going to be memorials that you can go back and look at them journals and look at that stuff that you wrote when you didn't think you could make it and be like, wow, I made it through that. Because sometimes you need a reminder.
Mhm.
Because when stuff hits you today, the stuff that we're experiencing today, I
Mhm.
think the enemy forgets that, hey, we made it through all of that. So surely we're going to make it through this.
This is good because you said keep showing up. I remember when there was a time in my life when I wanted to commit suicide, but I thought of my children.
Absolutely.
I really thought of my son. I didn't have my daughter, but I thought of my son. I said, now, if I do that, who's going to raise my son? How's he? How will he deal with this?
Yep.
That I did this and left him, in such a very bad way here, with no one to look after him. I said, other than his father, he would have gone with his father, I'm sure, but I can't do that. And that stopped me from thinking that way. I said,
Yeah.
I can't do that. And something about women seem like we always are expected to show up anyway.
Yep. We
Seemingly the men can say, well, you know what? I'm gone. I'm out of here. and she'll take care of it. We obviously do. We
Yeah.
stay there and we take care of it. And sometimes I don't think men know the weight that they put on women. And then they get an attitude when they see us strong. Well, you got like you don't need no man. Well, maybe because I had to go on without a man,
Yeah.
not because I'm trying to be all strong and well, I don't need no man. I needed a man back then, but you was not there. You weren't there for me. So I had to stand up on behalf of my family and myself and do what needed to be done. So don't come here with no attitude that I'm some strong, I'm like some he want woman. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just showing up just like you said.
And sometimes, I know for me, the thing that also helped with my healing, I realized that, you know, I had to become I had to become transparent. You know, there were people that were there for me, but I was in such a place of not trusting because I trusted over here and they exposed me. They uncovered me, they hurt me, they broke me.
Wow.
So if they did it over here, then surely. Or I was in a place that I didn't want anybody to know because of shame and guilt,
Hmm.
or it was a place of what's on the back end of that. If I do that, what is the repercussions?
Hmm.
And so I took it upon myself without even allowing. And then I got in a place where, yeah, I'm just, but there was good and bad to that. The good part was it caused me to completely and totally focus and trust God. My favorite statement is and always will be I trust God.
I trust in God. Yes.
Absolutely. I don't care what it is. Even if it don't look right sometimes, you will hear me say out of my mouth, I trust God. And
This is
and
good.
being in that way has taught me. But the bad part of it was I had to learn how to reconnect because the connections that I was making, they were genuine, but
Hmm.
I would make connections where I could keep you at bay. I would only
Hmm.
allow you when you're thinking you're very close. I got you at bay. And I knew how to keep that wall up without you knowing that it's up and without you penetrating it.
That's powerful. That's some good stuff right there. This is good.
Yeah.
I was thinking last night, Tammy. I was thinking about Joseph. How Joseph, when the king called for him to interpret his dream, and he had to Joseph in the Bible. He had to go and they had to get him all cleaned up, take off his prison because he was in prison,
Yep.
take off his prison clothes and his attire, and put him on some uh, uh, um, some appropriate attire to go see the king. And I thought about that. Sometimes we have gone through so much war and pain in our past that when we go into another dimension or another realm or another blessing, another level, we have the tendency to take those war clothes and with us to another level, and we cannot take. Well, they hurt me back then, and I'm gonna take that into another level. We can't take that. We have to just like you say, be transparent. We got to take that off. Well, I don't know if I can trust these people, or I'm gonna be watching them. You can't take that with you like that. You got because that's war stuff that you've been through. Take off your dirty old nasty stuff and go up into the new level. You know, knowing that you got to fight a new devil, but don't take that same old mindset because you're going to pollute it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think so many times, we as individuals, we as women, we as men, because it's the dynamic is so different. With
Yes.
men, with women, we feel that we're covered when we hide stuff and we hold stuff because we're those nurturers and we want to protect. But with men, they feel vulnerable and uncovered, and the reaction is different. They strike out, we break down within.
You go, girl.
We're all going through the exact same thing, but nobody's talking and nobody's communicating.
This is good. Communication.
Communication. We
That
got
is
to
important.
open our mouths and say, I make it my business. I know this is going to sound funny, but I do it anyway. I live, in a predominantly white neighborhood. When I first moved over here in Pasadena, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see nobody that looked like me in the grocery store for about the first year and a half. I would go in the grocery store and I would literally look, but it was close to my job, you know. And I remember I said, "This is not gonna be my story. I love people, I love God, and I'm here for service." And so there was an old white man that was walking in the store one day. He had a shopping cart, and he had on a veteran's hat. And the veteran's hat that he had on, I'm sorry, my phone just cut on. The veteran's hat that he had on said Vietnam. And the Vietnam, I saw that he was a Vietnam vet. So I walked up to him and I said, "Thank you for your service." And he said, "Oh, thank you so much." And I said, my stepdad, blase, blase, this, that, and the other. And just stood there and talked to him. And he just grabbed me and hugged me. I
Wow.
promise you, everybody in that store it was like a motion picture. They stopped in slow motion. Do, 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 do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I still check on Mr. Allen,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I endeavored to make a difference.
Yes.
I stepped outside of the comfort zone and instead of saying, "Oh, they're not gonna receive me." Oh, now when I go in the grocery store, every last one of them know me by name.
This is good because sometimes we fail to see, just like you're saying, Dr. Tammy, that in the midst of the what you can see underneath all that, we're humans. We're human beings, and that we experience the same emotions to some degree. And so we cannot say, well, you know you're so different. It reminds me of this wonderful movie, A Time to Kill, because he brought it on home in that movie.
Yes.
When the little girl got raped, and he said, now, little black girl got raped by some white men, and it was in there trying her and everything, trying the men and everything, trying her father. I'm sorry for killing um, the one that raped his daughter. So, and everybody could see that he was a black man on trial, and but when he turned it back around, he was a black father that loved his daughter, trying to get vengeance. But when or justice, so to say, and when he said, now just picture her being white, then the humanity came in the room to be able to understand why this father even thought about doing what he did,
Yes.
what he done. So it was really, it was interesting. And just even with the chaos that's going on now, in the with the different shootings and everything, um sometimes people don't always understand until it hits home, till it hits an area where they can say, oh, so that's what they've been going through, or that's what's going on. Then it clicks that we're humans. We're all
Absolutely.
humans on this planet. But
Absolutely.
that's awesome, sis.
I think, as a people,
Hmm.
we've become very desensitized. and unfortunately, I don't know what it will take for people to become thankful again. You know, I say this and people look at me like I'm crazy, but I ain't gonna change it. The pandemic, the during the pandemic, that
Hmm.
was, I believe, a precursor
Yes.
that God was giving us an opportunity to get back to the basics, to the things
Hmm.
that really mattered. So the entire country was shut down. You
Hmm.
couldn't work. You couldn't
Hmm.
go outside. You couldn't do this, that, or the other. You had to communicate with the ones in the house,
Isn't that something?
with your loved ones. You didn't know if their next was going to be their last. So you made an effort to say, listen, I love you. You made an effort to reach out. You made an effort to let them know, listen, yes, you matter. That was a precursor.
Yes.
Most people didn't get it. But for the ones that did get it, they understood that, you know what? I'm just grateful to still be here.
For sure.
And now look at where we're at now. Going right back to another season
Another one.
where we are going to really and truly need one another
Yes, we are.
for our protection, for our covering. We
Yes.
got to be generally concerned whether or not your next door neighbor or the one that's down the street is
Come
well.
on.
We're right back because we didn't learn the lesson fully. And what does he do? If you don't
Go
learn
back
it,
around.
you go right back to it. Till
This
you,
is good. I absolutely agree. Yes, Lord, we are right
yeah,
back in the same situation. And so much so that instead of us as a people looking down on a group of people and thinking that they're in this situation by themselves, we're right there in there too.
yeah, yeah,
All of us.
yeah,
So right back in there too that we need to love one another and stop trying to put any group down,
yeah.
that we all want to live and thrive and do better. Yes, we want order. You got to have order, but we need to love one another. And this mean hatefulness is not the way. It's just not.
Not
Never have been the way.
love is gonna be the only thing that's gonna help us out.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. That's the one of the most powerful weapons that we have
It's love.
is
That
love.
is it.
It
That's some
really
powerful
is.
stuff. It's got to be powerful that even the enemy don't like. He don't like love. He don't want us to love.
That's exactly right. And
We
that's
got
where,
to love.
I learned. Pastor Rudy said something and that's been a long time ago.
Hmm.
But he said something, and I often laugh because I say it so much now. It's funny. He said this. He said, if you want to know where you're the most powerful at, look and see where the enemy fights you at the most. And that's where that is where you are the most powerful at.
Now this is good. I know I keep saying it's good. I feel like I'm at a buffet meal, and I'm getting all this good old. I love fish. I love
Oh, me
getting
too.
fish. I'm getting candy yams. I'm saying this is good. I mean, it's good to me. It's very good to me to have a conversation with you, Dr. Tammy. You know, um, this is that is absolutely true. Because even when it centers on your purpose, when we think about our purpose in life, the very thing that you need to be doing is the very thing that the enemy is going to attack you on. And I experience that a lot, because when I know I need to do something, that's when the biggest hit, the greatest hit, going to be right there. How can we, in the midst of all of this, how in the midst of the attacks, in the midst of uh, failures, how can we get back focused on purpose?
I really believe that you gotta, when it comes to being focused, first of all, you gotta have something to focus on. We focus on a lot of stuff. We focus on people not liking us. We focus on bills not being paid. We focus on the gas needle being by E. You know, so we got to get focused on the right thing. And I hear in my head and in my spirit, well, what if I don't prescribe to God? Okay, okay, but all things that are pure and righteous and holy and good and perfect, these are the things that we need to focus on. That's what
Focus
it
on
talks
that.
about in Philippians.
There you go.
Set your affections on things above
Mhm.
and not things that are here.
On this earth.
So we first got to understand, what are we focusing on? And then secondly, which I think is the most important, is, are you focusing on truth or facts? The
Okay.
fact is that bill is due and I ain't got the money.
There you
The
go.
truth is that all things are going to work together for my good, and
Come
that
on.
my Father is rich in houses and land,
Yes.
and that I have but to ask. That's truth. Am I focusing on truth, or am I focused on facts?
Mhm.
Because focusing on facts will take you down a bunny hole, but focusing on truth will keep you focused enough to keep moving, to keep walking it out, even when you don't see it.
There you go.
So, those are the core things that I believe, as we're going through this journey, as we're battling everything that would come our way, whether it be environmental, mental, spiritual, whatever it is, physical, what are we focusing on?
Right.
And then last but not least, what are you saying about it?
That's good.
Power and life is a life and death, I'm sorry, is in my mouth.
There's some people that don't even believe that. They don't even believe that, because I know I have a segment that I do every week
Mhm.
where I say, for this week coming in, we do a prayer. And I say, speak how you want that prayer, how you want this week to go. And I've even had someone famous to say that came on his show and said, well, there's no such thing as speaking stuff. You can't speak enough stuff in existence. I said, yes, you can. We have been given the authority and the power in Christ.
That's right.
Even our Father spoke this whole he spoke this whole world into existence. He spoke it
That's right.
by the word of God. So it's according to your faith. Now, if you don't believe, don't mess with it. Leave it alone. I believe, and it works for me.
But whether they believe it or not, they still reap it.
They do. They
You
don't
look
think
at
they do, but they are.
you look at people, and they'll say, oh, because they won't get out of work. Oh, I'm sick. I can't come to work today. I'm sick. And eventually they're sick.
Hmm.
So whether they believe it or not, words are powerful.
They
You
really are.
Very powerful. And I'm quick. I didn't used to be this way, but
Mhm.
when people speak crazy stuff in my direction, I'm like, I don't receive that.
There you
That ain't
go.
for me. I don't know who you talking to, but that ain't for me. In Jesus' name. You
It
know,
reminds me of that little engine, Dr. Tam, how that the little engine said, "I think I can, I think I can." They taught us that in kindergarten about
yes.
the little engine trying to get at the little. I think I can, I think I can. He spoke that he think that he could make it, and he kept on making it. And he made it.
Yep.
You could send negativity and negative energy your way, not only by what you think but also by what you speak. And I
Absolutely.
tell people, say, in the midst of what they're going through, just say it out loud until release it out there in the atmosphere. It's all of this mess I'm going through, it's going to work out in my favor.
Absolutely.
So, and hey, there we go. It's going to work out in
I
my favor.
believe it.
I
I
believe
believe
it.
it.
Come on. And it does.
It really does.
It does.
You know, and working it out don't always mean it's gonna work out the way we want it to.
Come on.
That's where we fall apart right there. Well, that ain't how I wanted it to be done. I
Come
wanted
on and
to
say
dot
it.
the I and cross the T. Why you had to cross the T and dot the I? You know, but
That's
hey, you know, I just, my heartbeat, my desire is that for whoever is online today and they're listening, that one, they'll take it and they'll share it with somebody. And that whoever they share it with will share it with someone else. And it will be a continuous sharing because this is for them to let them know, number one, they ain't by themselves. We all go through something.
mm-hmm.
But when you can find a place like the Rise Show with Lessette, that you can be transparent in a space that is non-judgmental, in a space that want to see you healed, uplifted, in a place that want to see you with your footing on the ground, even if it slips sometimes. You don't find that often where you going to get encouragement, you know, to just keep going. I, you know who I love to use from the Bible?
Who?
Abraham.
Ooh.
God says, go to a place and
Come
I will
on.
tell you of that place as you're going.
Come on.
Now, what if he had been first of all said, no, I ain't gonna kill my son. And then second of all, if he'd have said, no, you got to give me directions before I go. He wouldn't be the father of many nations.
Now, this is good. And thank you for that, Tammy. You know what? It reminds me of OnStar. Because OnStar says to you, okay, go. And you're saying, like, where do I go? Well, I can't tell you where to go if you don't go.
Yeah,
You can't be standing still, keep move, and then I'll tell you what to do.
that's right. That's right. You know, so it's you know it is just imperative. Well, I won't sit here and say things will work out overnight, but what I will say is if you just keep going, just don't stop. It's gonna break. Nothing lasts forever. Even darkness doesn't last forever.
Now this is good. I know I've said this is good several times. I know I've said it. I know, but it's good down to it's good. All right. I said, I start saying that then, but you know what? Um, th- you're absolutely right about keep going. If you, for one thing, you can get a good example is the enemy. Have you ever known him ever to say, well, you know what? I'm not messing with those people no more. It kind of reminds me of the Grinch. You know what? I just love myself. That was a mean character. The
Yeah,
Grinch is just he's so crazy. He
yeah,
is so crazy. The little Who people, down in Whoville, oh, I just love the Grinch because, he gave those people hell. Yeah, he just totally gave
yes.
them a hard way to go. And the people just kept on loving. They kept
Kept right
on
on.
celebrating and loving and enjoying life. I don't understand that. He was just so funny. He kept going. He kept on. You know, you're absolutely right. You
Yeah.
know, Dr. Tammy, you are such a motivational encouragement. Always inspiring. Always so much to say.
You know,
Some
they
of you
always
do.
say that they say that people that go into become psychologists were people that needed psychologists. And people that love much were people that were broken much.
Mm, 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 mm.
You know, and I truly believe that because my every aim is to never, within my power, let me say it that way, is to never allow anybody that I recognize or see or perceive in the spirit that is hurt or broken in my presence to stay that way.
Oh my God.
I try to make sure that they know that they matter.
You know what? This is, it takes, um, kind of like my producer, so to say. It takes somebody of his character to have a desire to bring out the best in people. I'm one that he have chose to help bring out the potential in them, and I appreciate that. That's something that you cannot. Everybody don't have that desire to do so, and I know your character. How you have, you have, been raised up, and you went all through the battles, your personal battles, to be a blessing. Any of you people out there that would love to have a motivational speaker, a life coach to come and to minister and to speak or have a conversation about anything, then you need to contact Dr. Tammy. Doctor Tammy Mccotter. I love it. Doctor. I love that. Look, pray for me. I got issues, okay? Doctor, I love it. I love that. I love saying doctor. And even my husband. I know you somewhere listening, honey. My husband is a very special person. He just think he has to deal with me. Can you imagine that? And he brought this out of me, the type of a person that is willing to use her gifts. And I used to be very,
Shy,
shy.
very
You
timid.
remember?
Yes.
And really, I was beat down, to be honest with you. And he took someone. Uh, for one thing, I'm gonna tell you about my husband. He loves to do thrift store shopping. I'm telling you, he goes to the thrift store and he wants to. He takes something that somebody has thrown away,
Love it.
and he love it and bring life back into it. And I'm saying, like, but then when I would go shopping with him to the thrift store, I said, wow, who would throw that away? I said, this is nice. All you do is just rub this off, and you could do stuff with. I mean, I love going to the thrift store and the flea markets with him. He's pretty cool. Anyway, I love you, baby. But actually, what you said was to keep going, you know. And I want you to just wrap that up some more and talk about that some more. Somebody needs to know some more to keep going, Dr. Tam.
So if I had to wrap that up, I would say it this way, that movement in the natural produces life. Anything that is dead doesn't move. So as long as you are moving, you are a strategic threat to the enemy. First of all, because you have life in you. And that's what he's trying to snatch out of you by making you immobile. That's number one.
Wow.
Keep moving. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to know how it's going to end. There's a little saying, and I hope I say it right. Yeah, here it is. It says, "My dreams and visions are coming into reality. How it will get done is not my business. That's God's business. How it gets done is none of your business. Your business is to attend that you do not stop." And David says it best. I had
Mm-hmm.
at times to encourage myself.
Woo!
Whether you know it or not, encouragement is a weapon. Even if it doesn't look like, if you could just muster up, go in the mirror, you know what, your hair look good today. And it can be all over your head. You know what? I like these shoes look good on me. Encourage yourself.
Encourage yourself.
One day, one moment, 1 second, 1 hour at the time. Do it and don't stop. And I promise you, you're going to get there.
Dr. Tammy, this is okay, so I won't say it. Whatever, I won't say it. But you know what? But I hear the little voice over there. I knew that. But you know what? I remember on this little Christmas song where, I think it was Rudolph, and the little man said, "Put one foot in front of the other." Soon you're gonna be walking out the door if you just keep, like you say, keep going.
Yeah,
This is really good. I don't even know what to say after that. I mean, this is we got to keep going.
we gotta keep going,
If
and
you
as
can't walk,
long,
if you can't run, then walk. If you can't
yeah,
walk,
crawl.
Martin Luther King said it, then crawl or whatever.
Exactly
Keep
right.
going.
This is it, because we get messed up, tied up, and tangled up because we're looking at somebody else how they're going through and think we need to go through the same way. My journey is not your journey, yours not mine. You might have came in on broken ship pieces
Come
on
on.
the water, and I may have had to crawl with my knees and elbows in, but at the end of the day, we both made it.
And you know what? Also, Dr. Tammy, sometimes you got to put on blinders. That's what the Lord told me. Because we
Absolutely.
can be so no, what is she doing?
Yeah,
How he doing? Sometimes you got to put blinders
yeah,
on and stay focused. You know
yeah.
what? Don't worry about what the other people are doing over there. You don't even need to be looking over there. Stay focused on purpose, on your purpose. Have mercy and keep going.
That's what they do to horses. They put those things
Come on.
inside of horses' faces, when they run them races, so that
Hmm.
they will see nothing but what's in front of them.
There you go. Purpose. Purpose. Focusing on purpose. Because you know what? If you don't focus on purpose, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. This is this. You know what? Look, I keep taking my glass. You know what? Hey, pray for me. But yeah, yeah. I would like to thank my chat people, audience over there. I see this Clarence is over there, and the Grandium. Hey, thank you guys for listening in. Thank you. Clarence said, great show. And Grandium said, well, how are you? We thank you so very much for tuning in. And we know we got Keone back there somewhere. We love you, Keone. We love you, Keone. Um, and I just want you to go and purchase some of Dr. Tammy's books. She's got the Living a Life. Is it 365?
It's the 367 life, living life on purpose, 365 days of the year, and twice on Sunday.
I love it. I love it.
And then I have my other book. It is called You Are a Designer's Original. Your unique identifier gives you access, and your identifier is your fingerprint.
Powerful.
I am a part of a anthology, and it is called Her Story 3, and Her Story 3, the next chapter. And for people that think that they are the only ones going through something, that book is a culmination of women together talking about things that they made it out of, from domestic violence to homelessness to SA, all kinds of things. It is a book of encouragement. There's 3 volumes. There's even a volume for men that's called Him Story.
Wow.
And it is a best-selling author, and I thank God that I'm a part of that anthology. All of the books can be found on Amazon. And I pray that when you read them, that you will be richly blessed to know that you can live a 367 life on purpose. And your purpose doesn't look like mine. Mine doesn't look like yours. But at the end of the day, we can live life on purpose.
This is so, so good. Dr. Tammy, I have really enjoyed you today. I really appreciate you coming on Rise with Lissette live talk show. I really appreciate you coming, and um, it's been good. And don't forget, you guys, to focus on purpose, not just on what you're supposed to do, but focus on purpose on what you're supposed to do. All right. I hope you have a blessed year, and thank you for coming to Rise with Lissette. Hope to see you on the second Monday in February. All right.